Wait for it, and we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans and one chaos coordinator geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. So without further ado, we're going to let our guests introduce themselves. We're going to start with Mr. J.W. Kiefer.
Hi, I'm J.W. Kiefer. I'm a fiction author, indie author, who works on currently my novel, The Justice Cycle. Book 1 is out, and book 2 will be coming out within a month.
Sounds like fun. And he likes long walks on the beach and, dying on horror movies.
I do like that. Oh, my God, yeah. We'll talk about that later, how much they killed me and how many times they dragged me across the floor. And
if those walls could talk. All right, next we have Mr. Jesse James Gabor. I probably should have asked how to pronounce that in the pre-show, but...
Perfect. Yep, I'm Jesse James Gabor. I'm the makeup artist. I own Gabor SFX, and I specialize in special makeup, practical effects. And we, have a few different movies to my resume, and coming out with a new podcast here, hopefully by the end of summer, called The Unveilings as well. So.
Okay, cool. All right, next we have Mr. Joshua Racine. Did I pronounce that anywhere close to the realm of correct?
It all works. Racine, yeah, it works. Yeah, I'm a filmmaker. Demon Behind the Glass is my film where I guess we're going to talk about today. I've been involved with these other crazies films as well a little bit. I'm a visual effects artist. Yeah, it's me.
He's also my cover artist.
Yeah.
Current cover.
I fake the digital stuff. Yeah.
Someone's got to do
I'm
it.
the yin to Jesse's yang.
Absolutely.
All right. Next we have
the computer side.
Michael Yamine. I probably didn't even get anywhere close on that one, I'm guessing.
That's all right. It's Yamin, actually.
Yamin. That was my second guess, honest.
That's all right. Michael Yamin. I'm also a filmmaker. I worked on Demon Behind the Glass as cinematographer, and I currently have a film coming out in August, a sci-fi thriller called Reset that I filmed, directed, edited, all that jazz.
Now, when you say film, are you talking proper full-length film, or some of the indie ones seem to be shorter?
Yep, no, it's a full feature film. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there like in books, you have short stories, novellas, full-length novels, they're classified by length. Do they do that for films? Do they have categories for length?
Say that last part again. You cut out on that.
No, I said I know with books they definitely have special categories by length. So you got short stories, novellas, and then novels. Do they break up movies by length, or is it everything's just a movie?
Typically anything that's under. What's the going length now? Is it below 60
Sundance
minutes?
starts their features at 54 minutes. So once you're up around an hour, they're looking at it as a feature.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything below
under
that
you're looking
short.
more. You start to get into the shorts territory or episode territory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Before we do that, next we got Mr. Tim O'Hearn. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tim O'Hearn. I'm a filmmaker, actor, producer. I have a feature film right now. It's available streaming on Tubi and various platforms. Showdown in Yesteryear. It's a kind of a time travel Western.
Okay, you had me at time travel. When we finish, I'll have to get the link so I can stream that because I'm a sucker for time travel. I majored in history for a reason. I like that. They don't argue with me as much.
Yeah.
So when it comes to film, has the creation of some of the modern technologies that are out there with special effects made your job easier as indie film creators?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but I love a lot of Dust's comment. It's the YouTube channel that does a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I would put anything they're doing against what Hollywood's throwing out there these days.
Yeah.
So
they're a fascinating case study. Them and their sister channels like Crypt TV.
Yeah.
I mean, they're profitable. They make money on shorts, which is amazing.
Well, it
We're
just
definitely
shows to what
studying
you
them a
could
lot.
do when you just care about entertaining and there's no message left or right. It's just, hey, let's have fun.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
In fact, the scariest movie I've ever watched was one of theirs. It's a Murder Bot, I think was the name of it. About
Really?
they program drones to attack people for the government, and then they get out of hand, and shenanigans ensue when they get turned on you, kind of thing. But drone technology is just so new. The idea of it being weaponized like that is kind of techno thriller scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, before we start talking about the movie that brought us here, we're going to have to do the religion question. So, are you gentlemen ready for this?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, or Children of the Corn? Kiefer.
The Exorcist.
Okay.
One of the scariest movies of all time, in my opinion.
Do you buy the hype that it's based on a true story?
I mean, since I write this kind of stuff, I've done a little bit of research. It's loosely based on an event, but nowhere near what happened in the movie. No.
It actually happened to a little boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was slightly
Right, yeah.
different. I mean, I don't think the priest was killed in the event the way that they
Correct.
showed it in the movie. I don't know that he spewed pea soup or any of that kind of stuff. Obviously, the talking in another language in different voices happened, that kind of thing. There were a lot of things that happened similar to the movie, but I mean, it's Hollywoodized to a degree. But yeah. But the fact that obviously where I come from and what I believe and what I write, demons are a very big part of it. So anything that involves, and I've seen actual exorcisms, so been involved in such things. So it's so frightening because there's a real element to it. That's why I have always been afraid, liked that movie as a horror movie, because for me, that kind of stuff's frightening. I don't really get afraid of slasher films, or I love a good monster movie, but it doesn't really scare me. You get the jump scare, but something like The Exorcist, because it's based, in my opinion, in things I've encountered and actual events that people can have recorded and talked about, that's very frightening to me.
There's another one that's coming out that's similar to that in The Exorcist, that was inspired by those similar events.
The Ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ritual. I just saw a commercial for that.
Yeah.
It's what popped up on when I was watching the trailer for this one. It was the commercial.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jesse, Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, or Children of the Corn?
Definitely The Exorcist. Yeah, hands down out of the three. I mean, Rosemary's Baby would definitely be my second there. But The Exorcist, William Peter Blatty's, story is heavy duty, and it's good. Yeah, it's my choice.
All right, Joshua.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I could say good things about all those, but yeah, The Exorcist.
Okay. I'm sensing a theme. Michael, are you going to break pattern?
I wish I could, but it's got to be The Exorcist.
It is.
I'm sorry. I saw that when I was a kid when I shouldn't have. It was on TV, and it was probably partially censored, but even then, I was pretty mortified, and it wasn't until I got older that I realized all the press it got back when it was released, and how much it affected people in the theaters. And spiritual is always a topic that I feel like resonates most with anybody. That always freaks me out more than some guy in a hockey mask walking at a slow pace coming after me. So
That's that was compared in some of the press at the time to a modern day. Was it a War of the Worlds because of how people reacted to it?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, I mean, the difference is War of the Worlds was obviously fake unless Area 51 is real, whereas this one was purportedly based on real events. So some people were then offended by, because if you historiography is a class all history majors take, the history of history. Sometimes it's fun to dive in. So then you have the people that says, I'm offended that you compared The Exorcist to War of the Worlds because The Exorcist was based on real stuff. It was a fascinating back and forth that was happening at the time. But all right, what about you, Tim? Are you going to break pattern, or are you going with The Exorcist?
I can't break pattern. Sorry.
We're a unit.
Unanimous.
Anybody familiar with the Booth Brothers filmmakers?
No.
So actually, I worked on a film that's kind of like a documentary on The Exorcist called The Haunted Boy.
All right.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Where they actually went to the house where it actually happened, and they interviewed some people that that were involved.
Is that one already out?
Yeah, that was done quite a while ago.
So in the post production, when they get me all of the links, we should link to all of the movies that you guys have worked on, so people can find them. Because I mean, that's kind of like we have our calling card as our list of books. For you guys, that's your list of movies. So you know, it's sometimes more difficult for you because it's not all in one place like it is for me on Amazon. So if you guys
get
IMDb, is that actually maintained?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Do you guys update it yourself, or does the system do it, or how does that?
It's a mix.
It's a mystery.
IMDb it's like Wikipedia. You just never know.
Yeah,
it's literally.
So if you look at Tim's, you're going to see 4 billion. But yeah,
yes. Right. Mostly the villain, except for Reset.
Except for Reset. No, you forget about that rom-com I did.
Oh, right, the rom-com. Yeah.
The one that I The Exorcist was good as far as like cinematography and just as movies go. I haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, although it was listed as a classic, which is why I listed it. Children of the Corn, when I watched that one, though, freaked me out. I sometimes, when I'm driving farm country, because my family are all farmers, and when I'm visiting, sometimes like I kind of get the side eye when I'm going through the rows of corn. The premise was a little wacky. Like suddenly, just everyone dies at a certain age. Like you kind of had to sell that a little more than King did, but still. You don't look at corn mazes the same.
Yeah. No, it freaked me out when I was a kid, and I live in corn country, so yeah. No, I agree with you.
All right, and because we are polytheistic here at the Blasters and Blades podcast, Nosferatu, The Picture of Dorian Gray, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Jay.
Oh, dang! Wow. Jeez. I mean, the classic black and white Nosferatu. I mean, it set off. I mean, based on Bram Stoker's Dracula, but still, it sets off like this whole genre of vampire films. So you know, there's just something amazing about that. I didn't watch the current remake, but there's something amazing about that film. What was the other one? It was Body Snatchers, right? And
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, The Picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know that I could comment on The Picture of Dorian Gray as a film. I can as a book. So I would have to kind of put that one out. I'd have to say Body Snatchers, because it's still, there's just something frightening. I mean, a vampire is a classic villain, a classic archetype villain. It's been in all of the zeitgeist for pretty much all of human history. But the body snatcher concept, I guess you can kind of go back to the demonic possession concept, which is it's an alien version of demonic possession in a way, where your consciousness is being overcome by another being. And it's I have to go with that, probably Body Snatchers.
Yeah, Nosferatu was a movie back when men were men and the vampires didn't sparkle.
That's true. They did not.
All right, Jesse.
That'd be Nosferatu as well. Yeah, I mean, it was the catalyst for everything to come after, and of course, Dracula the novel was first, but you know, that Count Orlok character is just so memorable. I mean, you know, even to this very day, you see that look, and it just, your mind immediately goes to, you know, a movie. I think, I could be wrong, but I think 1922. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, Nosferatu, and I mean, think of that. I mean, it's 103 years old, to have that image just seared into your mind, and it's a household image, you know, and it's something pretty special about that, and extremely creepy and eerie. You know, watching that movie for sure.
Yeah, it's so I have a soft spot in my head for the Tales from the Crypt.
Oh yeah,
when I was really little, and you couldn't have had that without Nosferatu that started it all.
The Crypt Keeper.
Yes, that's true. Oh, you gotta love the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah. All right, Joshua. Nosferatu, Picture of Dorian Gray, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I'd have to go with. I love Nosferatu, and I love the makeup stories behind that. But I'm gonna have to go with the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I mean, some really cool. You know, just a certain classic era. That look, the big pods, everything, the social commentary that kind of went with it. You know, I could see what they were doing there. That was, I mean, it laid a lot of the groundwork for like nowadays, like Elving is about, you're doing not only just horror, but elevated horror. And that kind of, I don't want to say it started that, because I have nowhere near enough knowledge to know if that's true or not, but it was one of those classics that did that.
Now, is there a difference between elevated horror and psychological horror?
Guys, you correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm no expert here. When I hear the term elevated horror, it usually just means that, hey, there was some sort of a theme or a message behind it that was past just the boobs and gore.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's a very low bar. It's like love, boobs and gore, and it's like, oh, it's elevated. Wow, we're getting classy here. I think. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
And if you
That
know in
sounds
the
about
comments,
right.
if you know, dear listener, in the comments, tell us how wrong we were. Tell me how wrong I am. It's okay. I can tell.
I'm
you.
always wrong.
All right, Michael. Nosferatu, Picture of Dorian Gray, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
My youth is going to show a little bit here because I haven't watched any of them. Like, I've seen clips of Nosferatu, the OG one, but I haven't done a deep dive on any of those films.
So that has been my goal for 2025 is watch the classic films and read the classic books. So I've been diving into the old, and you can't beat the black and whites, like some of the stuff Hitchcock put out back in the day.
For real.
Oh, yeah.
Birds. Oh, The Birds, Psycho. Those are also great horror movies.
The Birds is one of the scariest movies I've ever watched, and it's all in black and white with like limited special effect capability. So you're right. That one is right up there.
Oh, The Birds, because I mean it's realistic. That could happen. We could all be attacked by birds at any moment. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, it's so cool that so early in a genre, and he's already finding new takes on a creature feature so early. It's like, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's just cool.
It's a solid movie too. That might have to be go on the list of one of the ones we review for our classics episode. You can't. I've had this discussion with other longtime film buffs. Did the acting get worse when they started relying on the green screen, or is it just a matter of you're not focusing on it as much because you're drawn to the explosions and the shiny things? Is it the viewer or the acting that's changed, or both? I don't know, but I know like when you look at the classics, they were acting their little asses off.
Mm-hmm.
And they were selling it before they had the special effects to make the monster look like we could now.
I wonder if it's because we didn't have a B genre back then. Like there wasn't a whole genre based on bad acting in horror films. Every film that came out, whether it's a horror movie or not, was
there's a lot of bad old stuff.
Well, yeah, well, sure, yeah, absolutely. But I think my opinion, because they're not trying. Like, yeah, there was a lot.
Tim will send you links.
Yeah. He was in a lot of them. But yeah, I think it has a lot to do with, though, they're not trying. It wasn't like a whole genre that they're trying to put out a specific style of film. Like in particular with Hitchcock, it's just everybody's trying something. So everything that they're putting out, they're trying to put out something that is going to be, a bigger blockbuster, something people are going to watch. I mean, obviously the term blockbuster didn't exist at that point yet, but I think maybe there's something to do with that. Now, granted, there was a lot of churning out of those old classic like westerns and adventure films where so they're not like they didn't have their own view of kind of like blasting the market with just mediocre stuff. I think though that when you get into something like a horror film at the time of The Birds or the time of Psycho, he's going for something different than just I'm going to create a classic horror movie. He's got a different view of it. He's trying to say something. He's trying to create a piece of art that he wants people to enjoy and not just be scared or not just like I think there's a level of, like Josh is saying, he's trying to say something. There's a commentary there. It's more than just, hey, I just want to get a bunch of gore and funny parts and boobs and they're trying to say something, and I think there's something different between that and to some of what comes out now, personally.
See, there's a danger when you want to do message fiction, because if that's the entirety of the movie,
you
end up losing it when you watch it now. Like I can watch some of those episodes, and there might have been a message in there, and I don't know because I'm not watching it contemporary to when it was made, so I'm left on just the merits of the movie or the book, right?
Well, that's true.
You can always, I think, if you're not careful, you can make your movie not able to be timeless. Or
I agree with that. I do, but I think that a good message is timeless. You can put a message in there and not have the story be necessarily about the message, but have a message that you want to say in there that resonates with with people. Like I went and saw, on my own personal experience, I went and saw Thunderbolts with some of my friends, and I walked out of the film and I'm like, wow, the message in that movie, like, to me, that was there was such a great message, a simple message, it's a great message behind it. And my friends were like, why do you got to find a message and everything? It was just a fun movie to watch, so it can be both, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes you put your own biases upon it when you
That's
engage
true.
with content, be it fiction or
Yeah,
movies.
absolutely.
So
That's very
sometimes your own worldview.
That's very true.
Sometimes the path less chosen is really just about a walk in the park, and there's no deeper meaning.
That's true.
All right,
That is very true.
I was an English major at one point in time, so the literature thing, we spent way too much time deep diving into the psyche of people who probably meant nothing close to what we speculated. So I feel you, Jay. I feel you. All right, Nosferatu, Picture of Dorian Gray, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Tim?
Body Snatchers.
Okay. What is it about the Body Snatchers that does it for you?
I think it was the whole, back when that first came out, like the pod thing and just like kind of it's kind of a mystery, like sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
was. I feel it was one of the first films where like you weren't sure if they were an alien or not.
Oh,
yeah,
I like that's true. Yeah.
That's true. I've read all of them, I've watched all of them. I've read The Picture of Dorian Gray, and the movie did an excellent job of keeping true to that theme of unchecked influence of prioritizing your desire over maybe what's best for you. Yeah. I think that kind of timeless morality tales work because they don't require you to be of a certain race or creed to appreciate the message. So for me, that one was just a timeless one. And, I've read it several times. Just like I said, at one point in time, I was an English major, so I'm a recovering English snob. All right. So
did you just diss messages and then pick one based on the message?
Well, okay, yeah, yes, good call. I was a little bit of a hypocrite there. I guess if you're gonna do a message, I separate, what I would consider message and then moral themes, because like when I think message, I think left or right political angles, or extreme political, themes. Whereas I think left or right, you can agree that what's good is good and what's bad is bad. Yeah. Generally speaking, the disagreement is how you get there. So I think some of them are kind of affiliation agnostic, and those themes are the kind of the ones I can get behind. I guess because I'm not against them. I don't know. Maybe there's some bias going there. I'll have to think about that one, and we'll come back to it. That does mean you just volunteered to come back, though, Josh.
That's cool. Okay. I mean, I think we'd all agree on that. I mean, just because I know all you guys. A lot of films, when you put a political side to it, it really just weakens it.
It does weaken it. It very much so does.
I mean, most of those, when we're talking about a message or a theme that we really liked, it's usually more universal than the political banter of the day.
And I'm also a little bit mercenary. I remember when I was touring colleges, I sat in on a business class and they were talking about Michael Jordan's rise to fame with him selling his sneakers. And in one of the interviews, they aired a clip of, and this stuck with me 20 something years later, was they asked him why, in arguably the 90s, when things on a racial level were more tense, why he didn't speak up when he had this platform. And his answer was, because the white kids buy my sneakers too. And I kind of adopted that as my business model. Their money's all green.
I like that.
And maybe if you put some of yourself and your own moral values in everything you create, and I think even if you're not trying to, you do, then maybe you can sway them more to your side just by exposing them, which you can't do if you turn them off by default.
Sure.
So this was deeper than I thought. I thought we were just going to be talking about like blood and guts and stuff, but it's all Jay's fault. It's all Jay's fault. All right. So the last question before we dive deep is, because we try to be civilized human beings here at the Blasters and Blades podcast, we are no longer knuckle dragging troglodytes. So coffee or tea, and how do you take it, Jay?
Oh, coffee and with creamer, like flavored creamer, always flavored creamer.
Oh, what flavor? Anything in particular, or you rotate it?
I really like caramel. Anything with caramel in it, that's kind of usually my go-to. It's a little bit of sweet cream. I can do sweet cream. But generally anything with caramel. I'm not a huge vanilla fan in coffee. I think vanilla doesn't belong in coffee. I'll do it if I have no other options whatsoever. But generally caramel, anything with caramel.
Yeah, for
I'm
me, it's all
pretty
about
simple.
the French vanilla. So I'm simple like that. A little bit of vanilla and hazelnut together. Can't beat that.
See, you and I are opposite because vanilla and hazelnut are my least favorite. I'd rather do like mint chocolate like my mom likes than like, and you know, like.
Well,
I'm
I
like
can
that.
do a good mocha. I just don't like it to be too.
Okay, good
bitter.
mocha's not bad.
Sometimes
Yeah.
but you can also go too sweet, like the Ghirardelli mocha syrups.
Oh, yeah.
That is like a cavity in a cup right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. I don't want it that sweet. Like I want to be able to taste the coffee. I can't do the extreme bitter. So I've tried doing black, and I just can't.
Because I had cream and sugar to my, or actually just cream, flavored cream. Because I do that, I actually brew my coffee extra strong, so it compensates.
Yeah.
But see, as much as I don't like the too sweet when it comes to the mocha with my coffee, when I drink my sweet iced tea, because I'm from the South, it better be so sweet Wilford Brimley comes back from his grave to smack me in the face with the diabetes stick. I mean, you got to have standards. So,
God, do any of us Northerners actually like sweet tea? Because I hate it. Do any of you guys like it?
So you'll get a kick out of this. So I went to grad school outside of Philadelphia. I went to Villanova for grad school, and I wanted sweet tea. The only place in the greater Philadelphia area that served sweet tea were the Hooters, because Hooters was open in Atlanta, and all of their menus, no matter where you go, are the exact same. So even places that don't sell it have to have at least a cup on hand. So when I would show up, they would always have sweet tea for me, and I'm like, I'm going to be asking for refills. Just warning you. So that's. I really didn't even go for the wings because their wings aren't that great. I'm not a huge wing fan anyway. But they had sweet tea, and I was there for it. So, what about you, Jesse? Coffee or tea?
Coffee, black.
Okay. Nice and simple. Black like your soul. Da, da, da. Josh, what about you?
Definitely coffee. Wait, can I split this and go with chai?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I do like chai. Probably coffee, but I do tend now traditionally. I tend to drink them like if you were trying to develop the taste based on preferences of like a 15-year-old girl. That's usually the direction I go.
Dude,
Not 15,
I
but
totally
the
rock.
Oh, so you're like the pumpkin spice, and
I love the pumpkin spice.
Yes, all
Me
those
too.
like all those
I do
obnoxious
too.
posts,
I do too.
blessed
yes,
with like
queen.
sugar. That's
Me
usually
too.
me.
I will
Lately, I've been
sacrifice the
trying to
pumpkin.
get into drinking it black. So like the mornings, I'll drink it black. I try not to have sugar before a certain time.
Yes, come to the dark side, Josh.
It is, and I'm hanging around these guys, and they're more manly than me. So it's like, I gotta man up and drink it black. So I'm miserable in the morning, but you
drink.
I've got my creamer
coffee,
now.
so I'm with you. And I too partake in the pumpkin spice. The spice must flow. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you, Michael? Coffee or tea?
My blood is probably about 89% coffee bean, so definitely coffee and black. That's how I drink it. Yeah.
Do you prefer a special type of way to cook it? Or
I do a pour over.
that.
I grind the beans and all that. That's the only part of me that's the coffee snob, is I like to grind fresh beans and
French
do the
press
pour
is
over
good too. I use the French press. I really like that.
We have a French press, and but the favorite two that I've done is when I went to grad school. One of the ladies that I worked with was Cuban, and her husband was going to school with us. So she made us Cuban coffee, and you could like see sound and hear colors by the time you were done drinking that stuff. It was sweet. It was awesome. You could probably like run to the moon and back on that. And when I was in Iraq, we worked with some of the third country nationals, and some of them were from Turkey. And so they made us some of the traditional Turkish coffee. That also punches you in the gut with the caffeine. It was good.
Wow, nice. Sounds
I haven't
good.
been able to find either of those in my quaint little home of Virginia, unfortunately.
Where do you live in Virginia?
Tidewater.
Oh,
So southeast, around Norfolk, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
Navy
Oh,
base.
yeah. I have friends there. Yeah.
The Cuban I could probably get if I tried some of the restaurants. I'm just cheap, and I can make it at home a lot cheaper. But I don't think we have any Turkish restaurants. I've actually looked for that because Turkish food and Indian food are pretty good. But they don't.
Josh and I had Indian food last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, all right. What about you, Tim? Coffee or
bean
tea?
water.
Bean water. Excellent
Hot
answer.
bean
Excellent
water.
answer.
Yep. Coffee.
Well, this is where we're gonna.
A little
Go ahead.
cream, a little sugar, not a ton. Just
enough to take the edge off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have you guys tried the keto coffee? I know some people put butter in it.
No.
Oh.
Oh, you're talking about the bullet coffee?
Yeah, bullet coffee. There we go. It's keto friendly.
was it butter and coconut milk. I
Wow,
think coconut syrup.
that's a new one for me.
I know people
Yeah.
tell me the flavor palette works. I just haven't been brave enough to try that one yet.
Yeah, Israel loves it, and cream. I think there was like heavy cream or something else he puts in it.
Yeah. Well, if you've tried it, dear listener, comment down below. And this is a moment we're going to pause for a moment while we shamelessly shill for the man.
I think you came here to sell a story.
I have a sense when it comes to stories. It's like a smell that I can follow.
An hour ago, your story was about fracking. Now it's about a resurrected peeping Tom that bites.
Do you know how much force it takes to turn that raccoon into spaghetti? What's a body doing curling behind a wall? What's a reporter doing digging behind the wall?
I'm a grown man. I like sugar in my coffee, and I don't like scary movies, but this story is going somewhere.
The government underestimated the outbreak. The best medicines couldn't stop it. Now, the dead are walking the streets, and they're hungry. Zombie Patient Zero is 9 tales of flesh-ripping, brain-splattering mayhem from Bayonet Books, the boldest name in action and horror anthologies. From deep space to luxury resorts, nowhere is safe. Zip up your hazmat suit and dare to find out how it all went wrong. Zombie Patient Zero, from the deranged minds that brought you Contact This and Storming Area 51. Pick up your copy today in paperback or Kindle.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial interlude. Through the power of movie magic, I will have inserted that commercial in post. All right. So thanks for sticking with us. All right. So first off, now that we've seen the trailer, I don't know where did the origin of the concept of Demon Behind the Glass come from? Like, where is the aha moment that was the concept? This is for
aha moment. There was a couple of things, and it kind of was where two ideas kind of collided. I grew up in a house that had a space from a closet behind in one room where you could go behind the wall, behind the mirror in the bathroom. And I there was 4 kids in my household. So there was 2 brothers. So it was 3 brothers total. And we were constantly pranking one another just because we messed with each other.
As one does.
You'd be in the bathroom, which oftentimes puts you in a very sensitive position. And all of a sudden something's crawling through the wall, or you're looking in the mirror and you're like, is somebody back there? You know, and you'd play with the lights, right? Because, you never knew it was coming. So there was that childhood memory. Then I just came across that Bible verse, in Luke, where it says, when a demon leaves a man, it goes to the dry places looking for rest. Finding none, it returns. Goes out and gets 7 demons worse than itself. In the end, say that man is worse than before. And I just thought, wow, that kind of sounds like a lore to set up like a horror film from. And then, so it was a combination of those ideas. Kind of looking at, in history where some of the cultic stuff looked for that stuff and kind of looked at it as a recipe. And I'm like, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. And so just kind of combining some of those ideas, I wrote the script for that.
So that was your role. You wrote the script for this one?
Yeah, it was originally. So a lot of us have been working together for a while on shorts and so forth. And there was a period of time there where digital content was cool as far as these like 10-minute episodes. Like you were talking about like Dust and Crypt earlier. And there was a time where we were all trying to write stuff like that. And so the origin originally came from, it was supposed to be in these little webisodes. And we had actually filmed a couple. And I started talking to distributors, and they're like, buddy, you kind of missed the boat on that. But if you could turn this into a feature, we'd buy it. So then we quickly kind of turned around the script. I think we made the decision that we were going to make it as a feature for that summer. So it took pretty much, I think that was in April, it might have been, and then rewrote it as a feature, which, by the way, turning webisodes that were supposed to be in 10-minute increments into a feature isn't always the easiest thing to do, but we turned it into a feature and shot it that summer. The summer of, what was it, 22, Mike? Am I right?
Was it 22?
Yeah, I think so. Wait.
Am I wrong? Or was it 20?
I think it's 21.
Wow.
We started,
No.
I think,
No, not the
sorry.
feature.
We started the
It came out
web
in 23.
series.
Sorry, the webisodes
Yeah.
were 21. Actually, they were like end of 20
Yeah, 21.
and into
Oh, because
21
right before the
a bit.
pandemic. Then we went into
Yes.
making this.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
then Mike, literally we went through the summer, and that fall Mike started filming Reset. So it was like this long,
Project.
Yeah.
right? That October.
Well, it was actually November. It was like the first week of
November,
November or second week of November or something. It was like hot off the heels. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a crazy period of making stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have a favorite scene when you are writing this?
From the story, I just like the quirkiness of this character, this journalist character who finds a body in the wall, and just with the weirdness of the situation is like, you know what, leave it there. And that kind of that relationship of, you know what, now that I know it's there, I'll just kind of have a drink and talk to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the rest of you have favorite scenes when you were making this?
Being dragged across the ground for hours was fun. Which was like the opening scene, I think, right? You kept pulling me down. I kept getting killed over and over again, and then dragged across the floor by the demon, and then axed. Those were all my favorite parts, because obviously they were my favorites. I do like, I mean, obviously, but I do like. I think as far as watching, you hate. Watching, my favorite scene as far as watching it, I really enjoyed the scene. Is it Deborah? Deborah, where she's what's the character's name is Deborah, right? The female character, where she's sitting across from the demon, and it's like she's like dealing with that internal monologue, and then you realize he's actually there. So there's almost like this: is he really there? Or isn't he there? Is he in her head, or is he isn't in her head? But I kind of like that whole where she's like, I'm not going to allow this to control me. I mean, I've already gone off the rails. I know what it's like to be nuts, and this isn't who I'm going to allow myself to be. And I think that's probably one of my favorite scenes, just because I really got a lot out of that. I really enjoyed that scene. And her acting was great in that scene.
She's good.
What about you, Tim? Did you have a favorite?
When I ate the cockroach.
Oh,
The
did you
date.
do that for real? Please tell me that was a prop.
I thought it was real for a second.
That's method
Not gonna
acting
lie.
right there, people.
I tried to get him to eat the roach for $20. He wouldn't do it. So
We
it was like it was 3 a.m, and I'm like $20. Come on, Tim. Let him put
I
it
think
in
it
your
went
mouth.
up to 50, but I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the actors there. You know, Jessica Nogret played Settlemeyer played Deborah, and then Isaac, the guy who was feeding the roach to Tim. Joshua Settlemeyer. He did this sleight of hand thing where he had a cockroach in one hand, and we gave him a date. And it was a date.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We found out that the dates actually were the right approximate size and color of a cockroach. And I don't know how this fits with the health code, but he did this like sleight of hand, switches it to a date and gives it to Tim. And if you look at that scene in his face, you know, his face in that scene, it's like he's figuring out, is he really chomping on a cockroach or not?
Yeah, I thought he actually did it.
Yeah, we're all just
And
watching.
I
Like, I can't believe he just stuffed one of those in his face. That's
And I don't like dates either, so that was perfect.
Tim lost.
The actual look of disgust was real.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you have a favorite scene, Jesse?
I don't think there was one particular scene that stands out as my favorite. Anytime I was able to put together a practical effect for the scene, which was quite often actually. There was a lot of practical effects throughout the film, so to be able to utilize, and Josh wrote this too, very cognizant of not repeating a specific effect per se. So I mean, there were many times where we had to do a lot of different practical effects. So to me, all of those scenes were kind of my favorite because we didn't really rehash anything that we had done in a previous scene. So we were always making something new, something fresh to bring to the screen, and so that. Anytime the practical stuff, I mean, that's my wheelhouse. So I really enjoyed being able to do a lot of different scenes, using that craft.
Okay. Michael, lastly.
And we'd run into a wall all the time, and he would have to change his approach.
Yeah.
As we were filming.
Yeah. Like when the helmet didn't fit at first, and he had to. I remember
Get out the Dremel.
Yeah. You were out there. I was talking to you while you're dremeling that out.
Yep, for sure.
My favorite scene was actually that sort of final showdown with all the flames and stuff, because I had no idea what was going to happen when I shot it. And I don't think Josh really knew at the time either. He was kind of like, we were shooting some plates and stuff. And, for the most of it, obviously with the practical effects, I knew it was going to happen. But with that entire sequence that he put together, I thought it was really cool, and it was a surprise to me because I hadn't seen, there was nothing to go off of really. And another just sort of honorable mention would be the one when the demon crawls up the stairs and the hand comes out of his chest over him. I thought that was cool because it kind of paid homage to sort of that OG horror type stuff with the practical effects and everything. Yeah. And I was glad it actually worked out because it was a really tight stairwell to shoot in, and it was pretty challenging to light and stuff. So I was happy when that turned out okay. It looked really good.
Yep.
In order to do that, Jesse had to be in the suit with Josh to some degree. So
yeah, it was behind the poncho.
Yeah. So it's like this cool tight stairwell. We're making it up as we go.
Well, we had played a lot with ideas. I was telling Josh throughout production, I was like, man, it'd be really cool if we saw like a hand or something come out of the mouth, or like, maybe something out of the chest. And, we split the difference and we found a practical middle ground that was like possible. So, him and Jesse sort of engineered how the hand was going to work and stuff. And, we got that in.
It's a great scene, actually. That's a really good one.
It is a very good scene.
So, is there anything that changed, Josh, from when you wrote the script to when you started working with the production team and then the actors that you changed based on like input? Or is the script what it is once it's written? I know nothing about the movie, so sorry.
No, that's cool. It was honestly, it was done to very it was planned to be. It was my first film. We knew we wanted to shoot it fast. We knew we wanted to keep it inexpensive. I kind of made the approach of this is gonna. I grew up playing in garage bands, and it's like this is gonna be the garage band equivalent of making a movie, and so it was to loose tolerances. It was definitely, there would be, if something was working or we were running out of time, we changed it. Yeah. There's a scene where there was multiple times where, like there's the scene, for instance, that's on a deck. That's a fight scene with a creature. And when we talked about it, there was like multiple iterations of like the monster suit, and it was fairly complicated. And Mike's being the timekeeper, and he's looking out at the sun, and he's like, I forget the time frame. I think he turned to me and goes, we got, what was it, an hour? We got to make this happen.
I was constantly just calling out the time. I'd be like 6:45, 6:45, because you know how it is. I mean, you're on an independent set, and everybody wants to hang out and chat and have a good time, and I get it. I'm guilty of that too. But we were like losing sunlight, and things were changing very quickly. So
we realized we do not have time for costume changes. It's got to all be done. And again, it was going to be this thing of this like hand coming out, and then there was going to be in the fight scene we were going to have like an intermediate head that was going to be a bash head that we were going to pump blood through, and it's like all those setups take time, and we're just doing the math, and we just don't have it. So I remember coming to Jesse with a pool noodle. I said, Jesse, instead of a hand, let's have a tentacle come out. You got 20 minutes, make me this tentacle. And sure enough, 20 minutes later, he comes back this thing. It's got like teeth and it's covered in slime, and so I mean, there was constantly things like that where it was improvised, or sometimes there'd be something that would be blocked out, and then an actor would just stand in a different position, and Mike would point the camera, and I'm like, wow, that's actually a cooler shot.
Yeah,
let's rework it.
Actually, one of my favorite changes. I wouldn't call it a change. It was a change / addition, but it was pretty late one night. We were shooting a death scene in the garage, and it was supposed to be yeah, it was supposed to be implied, like the door was going to close, and we probably hear something. And I looked at Josh, and I was like, I think we can get everybody to stay. I say we really kill her, like just do something bloody, you know what I mean? And it just seems personal, because the relationship between her and the demon character and stuff. So he's like, you sure everybody's I said, I guarantee if there's gonna be blood involved, everybody's gonna stick around. So we told everybody, and everybody got all excited, and Jesse of course was more excited than everybody because he got to shoot a lot of blood and stuff, and we destroyed that garage with that blood effect. Josh's wife was merciful. But it's
I still have
really
a
cool
bloody
because,
stain on my garage. It's a little memory there.
yeah, and well, the cool thing about that scene too was like we shot at night, but we made it look like it was daylight. It was a daytime shot, and it worked out really well. And I thought it was a good addition to what was happening and stuff.
So what's the story of the cops getting called then, Jay?
Oh, well, they were making so much noise, right? Didn't somebody call the cops on you guys?
The cops came because we came up with all these like I don't want to call them ghetto rigs, but we came up with some interesting ways to do different props. One of the things we would do is we would put mineral oil in a bug fogger.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when you run mineral oil through a bug fogger, you just get this heavy plumes of smoke. So there was this whole thing with like the creatures would have like smoke coming out of them. So here we are in my neighborhood, because my house was actually one of the locations, just blasting smoke out of this. Well, if you burn mineral oil, it has a kind of a strange smell. So people are thinking I'm burning plastics or whatever. So the cops show up, and it's like, no, we're making a movie, officer. Yeah. He's like, all right, you idiots.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times they've heard that as an attempt to excuse what they're doing. No, it's just a movie.
There's some funny smelling smoke here, boys. What's going on?
As long as you have a camera,
and a lot of
screaming
going on too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God! Remember we were out in Josh's or my brother's place where we were filming, and I had to scream because I was going to get axed, and the dog kept coming over because he thought I was getting murdered. I wanted to like lick my face, like, "Oh, are you okay?" It's like, Maverick, I'm fine.
I mean, that's another thing. These scenes go late, just and you'd have like Jessica would be doing. I know at one point in the scene, it was a different scene, but it was another one in the garage, and she lets out this scream, and it was late, and I'm like, what's going to happen here? I live down the road from a retired cop who's called the FBI on me already. It's like, where's this going to go?
Sounds like a swell fella. So
he's a good guy. I like him. Don't get me
He just thought you, I don't know, murdering people and hiding their bodies.
That's all.
He just thinks you're a serial
killer.
killer.
I mean, when you're doing film, you're naturally it crosses over the line into sketch.
Yeah.
Mike was smart when he shot his like way out in the middle of nowhere. He was like firing blanks and stuff in the like 2 a.m, and
Well,
So how did
you know,
that-
it's funny. There were people driving by. We had this like 6-foot alien creature standing in the yard, and you see like blanks getting shot off, and nobody slowed down.
Nobody slows down. Nobody calls
said
anybody.
anything. I was like, really? Okay. Well,
It's upstate New York. Come on.
I kind of wanted the cops to show up and wonder what the hell the creature was, and
Then you could like
that
put
would've
that in
been
the
cool.
movie, or would you
It'd
have
be
to
great
have
B-roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
it would have been amazing. Yeah, for sure. I would have worked something in as soon as I could. Yeah.
I feel you on that one. When I was writing my first book, I sent it in, and the publisher was like, "This death scene just doesn't work because this isn't how a body would work in ZRG. I know your aunt's a nurse. Talk to her, fix the scene, get back to me." So I was sitting at the Starbucks talking to my aunt about what happens when you decapitate somebody. And I didn't realize I was on this long bench table and everyone's sort of scooting further away. And next thing I know, the police officer's tapping. He's like, "Mr. Handley, is there something you want to tell us about your weekend plans?" And I'm like, "No, I promise. I'm an author." And I show him the book and the scene that I'm editing. And he just looks at me with a straight face and he's like, "Yeah, my wife's a writer too. If you're not on at least one government watch list, you're not doing it right." Of course, I pressed and he wouldn't tell me what his wife writes. So I'm guessing it's more of the spicy variety because otherwise, why would you hide it, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen Lethal Weapon. I know how that goes. So we've talked about the movie. We've talked about some of the filming. How did you go about finding the people to be your actors for the movie?
So Mike and I'm pointing like Mike's there. Is that how it is on every screen, or is it very?
Yes, it is. You're good. Yeah.
It'd be
What
funny
you
if
see
I
is
wasn't.
what's
It's like we're watching.
Squares.
Like we're watching.
Mike and
Nice. It is like Hollywood Squares. So for the viewing audience, Mike, I know his name's there anyway.
The Brady
But,
Bunch.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch.
I want to be Marsha.
Yeah.
So Mike and I, we work together oftentimes doing commercial work, videography, and so what happens is we would use different actors in commercials, and we would know who the best actors were locally, and then we would go to local theater shows and we would see who was acting, and so then we would just start to make relationships with them to shoot shorts or make things. Mike knew Tim, who acted in like. I don't know, what is it, like 400 films or something?
He's in everything.
And knows everybody too. So it was just kind of working that local community angle and looking for the talent that was available, because again, this is garage band style filmmaking. So it was, it was a lot of volunteer work. It was a lot of putting up with stuff. And
You made me.
then I knew
you made
Jay
me-
from a long time ago.
Yeah, and you made me audition.
So I imagine.
Actually, so I, not to diss Jay because he did a great
No,
job,
I
but
know,
there was like
I get
a
it.
seasoned actor in our area that everybody's like, no, he will definitely do it. And like I started sending him stuff, and I think he actually got offended. He's like, "What are you asking me to do, you idiot?" And so then it was like the day before, and this guy is no longer taking my calls. And I'm like, "Hey, Jay."
Well, I was the character originally in the web series. And so you were like, you already know the character, but I want you to audition. I was like, okay. And I did. And he was like,
It's
oh,
good
yeah.
practice.
Were there couches
Were you
involved?
in the web series?
Couches.
Yes. Seriously. I was like right from the beginning. I was Rogers in the web series. You put a snake around my neck, remember? And Sarge was like, rest his soul. Sarge was like freaking out.
Yeah, the cult scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
How could you not remember that? Like
I totally forgot about that. actually.
I'm offended.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So you were
Now
like,
he's offended
hey.
that you're offended that he's offended. It's a thing.
Well,
That's why we picked him. Oh,
Yeah.
So we saw him. We wanted to rewrite him,
Yeah.
and then we used him after all because we were backs into a corner.
Yeah, you were like, hey, well, we already know.
But
you
Mike
can-
abused him so badly in
Yeah,
this
he did.
film.
Yes, he did.
It was like even Mike's like, wow, he put up with a lot.
It was fun though because I enjoy that. Like, and it's not like I've never done any acting. Josh,
He has a traumatized childhood. Something
Yeah,
went
that's what
wrong
it was.
there.
But I enjoy the physical aspect, even though I was like 100 pounds heavier or something back then, 85 pounds heavier. But I still enjoy the physical aspect of acting ever since I was a kid. I always enjoyed that, liking to be physical, liking to do like I would want to do my own stunts if I were actually a movie star, and I enjoyed that. It was fun for me. to be dragged
Don't
around.
say that in front of Mike. You have no idea.
I mean,
No
yeah,
idea.
okay.
He'll throw you from a truck.
Being dragged across the
I'm not even
floor
going
for
to
like
dispute
3
any
hours.
of this. Don't worry about it.
was
Hey, I treat it like a kid falling down. You don't go, "Oh my God, are you okay?" You're just like, "That was pretty cool, right? You want to do it again?"
Yeah.
You know? And that's it. And then they're in. You
Like
know,
just
'cause-
one more take. It's like,
Like,
okay,
we got this.
you
Like, you
learn
could do
that
this,
just
Jay.
one more take is like 40 more takes. It's not one more. Oh, that scream was great. Like, can you do that again? Like, who was it that was trying to? Was it Josh that was trying to? He's like twice my smaller than me, twice my size at the point, and he's trying to, and he's dragging me across the floor. Like I'm twice the size of him. Like he was twice.
I saw there was some special math there.
Yeah.
Were
so
you
he's trying to drag me. Shut up.
Yeah, it's called a
So he
cardboard
was trying
box.
to drag me. Yeah, we put that thing on me and to try to get me to slide better, and they're dragging me, and it was like, yeah. And
So how does mostly, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, most of the people that are making independent films are doing it more for the love of the thing than getting rich from it, right? Like it's
absolutely
not a lot of indie movies are making a lot of money. So how do you guys go about funding it? Is it all like volunteer work, or do you people is it like a Patreon type model where people support you? How does that work for you guys?
We've all done slightly different models, but yeah.
All 3 movies actually are.
We self-funded, I guess, all of our movies, right? Tim, did you self-fund yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was no crowdfunding or anything, and I think what helps the most is that Josh and I, for instance, we have a lot of credibility as far as how we can execute production based on our commercial work and such. And when you have that as kind of your business card talking to people, they don't feel like they're wasting their time if they are volunteering their time. So that becomes useful. And of course, if they love the story and they want to work with you or appreciate working with you, you can get away with some of those favors. And Tim is a little different. He went all out. I think he was the big executive producer from the 3 of us, and rightfully so. Though I mean that required that kind of deep pocket for what he was doing, because it's a period piece, and he had 12 maybe more people involved in his film, whereas Josh and I had like a handful of people. So
yeah, there was a couple of days we had about probably 25 people on set.
So
and if you see Tim's film, it's like it's straight up shot in the western ghost town, not ghost town, but a whole western town and everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks legit. Yeah, it's very authentic. Mm-hmm.
So
done in Wells too.
Obviously, you guys are going to. So obviously, you guys are going to keep making movies. Do you guys have like a Patreon tip jar, Ko-fi, something? Buy me a coffee if people like what you're doing and want to contribute more than just spreading the news and watching the movies. Is there any way fans could help you?
We've never set anything up like that. I think I don't know. I personally prefer, like, circling back to what you said earlier about these big budget films that are failing, and $300 million for them. They have all the special effects in the world, and somehow it looks bad or there's no story. I think being constricted financially benefits you more, because you asked if we love if we're making films because we love it, not because we're trying to be millionaires or something. That's true, because I think those people end up becoming millionaires because they care so much about the craft that they don't really know when they have gold until it gets out there. Whereas these other people's approach is, we have gold, let's put more gold into it and hope more gold will come out of it, and it doesn't always work. So yeah, I think at some point, it'd be nice to get funded for sure. I mean, but what ends up happening there is, like, you start relinquishing like control and rights to your craft and your vision, and I don't think we're ready to part ways with the stuff that we write and what we're trying to create just yet. So
Yeah, I imagine indie films is a lot like indie comics. And someone once told me the way to make $1 million in indie comics is to start off with $1 billion. So some things are just money pits. You just do it because you love it. So you don't think so a tip jar, something along those lines, wouldn't require you to give control. That's just more people sort of supporting what they like. Much like the old Greek Roman patronage model kind of thing. I see what you're saying. If corporations get involved, though,
it doesn't even have to be a corporation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's what Josh is saying. It's like it doesn't even have to be a corporation. Just investors in general. I mean, it's a tale of the all of time. It goes back so far as anybody who gets involved with money, or suddenly there's too many chefs in the kitchen. You're like, what is going on here? This isn't even my movie anymore. So. And I just mean in a broad sense when it comes to getting financial backing to any degree. Tips are cool. I mean, but I don't know. I guess we never really thought about that. Our goal is to like make something we're proud of and hope we can sell it. And if something comes back, great. If not, try again. Next idea, next film.
So how do you?
We're not remortgaging our houses for this. We're
no.
We're trying to be smart.
Yeah,
I want to stay married. For investors. I look for investors, and actually, I'm glad I didn't get any because, like Michael was saying, then I probably would have had to change some things, or they would have, they wouldn't have wanted, some say in certain things that they probably wouldn't even know anything about. But they, I'll give you this money as long as you do this, or put this person in the film or whatever. So I'm glad I didn't end up with any investors because it's all on me. I made all the shots.
So how do you guys judge the success of your movie? If is it, do you look at the commercial or just the finished product? Do you like it? Like, how do you judge your movies then?
Whoever wants to go first.
I know it's a deep question.
I think all the above. I know Mike and I talked a lot about this with our films. Sometimes we put it in kind of, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I think we had conversations pretty much that we kind of put them in buckets. It was like, hey, are we going to get this done just to kind of be able to run through the process and use this as a learning experience? And then it became, oh, well, can we at least make back kind of break even on some of this stuff? So it kind of starts to go up in buckets like that. It kind of used as.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
No, finish your thought.
No, I was saying, can it be used as a learning experience, but also somewhat of a stepping stone to kind of be able to gain traction to move forward? Okay. Sometimes you just got to start somewhere.
Right. Yeah, because I feel like I'm the only one that I did like a full year of film festival runs with my film, and I feel like that helped me a lot as far as. Like I met a lot of other cool filmmakers and actors and people from all over, and friends with some of them still, and things like that. Kind of, I don't know how to say it. Like, didn't put my name in lights, but it kind of elevated it a little bit as far as being a filmmaker and what I'm capable of.
Yeah, I pretty much our talks, Josh and I, and even Tim is. Did we make our money back? If we made $1 as profit, it's successful in our eyes. It doesn't have to be the $1 million whatever, because then from there on forward, however long it stays on streaming in the ethos, eventually some check is going to come our way, whether it's pennies or dollars or whatever. That's a success, because how many people can say they made a film for less than 20 grand or less than 10 grand, sell it, and it be something that's actually marketable and well received? That's such a challenge, and it's already challenging to make a film and actually complete it, and it actually have quality or some sort of standard. Because it's going back to even the big league films, how many of them are so bad and how much money they spent on those things, and it's some of them are not even worth streaming. So if we complete something that we're proud of and we make our money back, you know, that alone is enough to feel like we were pretty successful. And then we just move on to the next idea.
I mean, as Tim mentioned too, the film festival is a nice little gauge as well. I mean, we were able to get both Demon Behind the Glass and Reset into a couple film festivals, and and two particular ones we walked away with Best Picture, amongst some others. So that's kind of a watermark for us. It kind of gives us an idea of, okay, these are non-biased individuals that are screening these, and that they're evaluating them based on what we're actually submitting. And to be able to walk away with some of those awards, it felt good. Even if maybe the pocket's not getting full per se, it's nice to know that you're being recognized for the work that you did put in. So that's a payment as well.
Yeah, none of us are like working on $7 in a dream, and walking to California or something and trying to. I'd say we've been pretty smart consistently with how we approach things, uh, and we've been very careful about our time spent, not just the money. So um, those film festivals and such were great focus groups, and in my opinion, I'm sure these guys agree as well. Tim obviously had so many film festivals he was a part of, and that's an experience I'm pretty jealous of. But yeah, as far as like, we've even done local showings and such, and hearing from the community was super helpful too, whether people appreciated watching the film and what their feedback was. And so far it's green check marks for the most part, and that helps a lot too, because you're like, oh, okay, cool, there is something to this, we're doing something right. And the worst thing you want to hear is somebody come out like, what the hell is that? I just spent $15 or $20 to watch this movie. So I don't know.
Did the cop that came and interrupted your party, did he come watch the film?
No. No.
That jerk. So when this movie ends, do you foresee potentially a sequel or a takeaway from this one, or something? Is there room for that, Josh?
I mean, I have an idea in my head. I could, but I don't see that happening. I don't see it being that kind of thing. I mean, honestly, if there was like a door that opened, it would happen. But I mean, I would make it happen. But I don't. I think it's more just move on. I mean, the distributor, when we first talked, he's like, he goes, I tell everybody to have a sequel in mind, or a pitch you could do. So I did one, or I had one ready, but I think this was a learning experience, and you just keep on going, you move to the next thing.
All right. So is there any closing thoughts you have about Demon Behind the Glass? It's been fun to look behind the film screen to see kind of what your process was, but any closing thoughts about Demon Behind the Glass?
I guess more about the concept of kind of garage band filmmaking, as I like to call it. And I would just encourage, I know your listeners are just filled with creatives and people trying stuff across multiple mediums, right?
Yeah.
And it's just there's so much negativity as far as, oh, there's AI now, and oh, we got to fight with this, and there's this technology, and oh, this industry is being devalued. But honestly, there's just so much at your disposal, and as an artist today and as a creative today, you have just so much value built in there to take these tools and access a world like never before. I mean, for us, just kind of play with toys, like we do, and be able to get this stuff out on, on the streamers that everybody has. And that's awesome. So, I mean, I would just encourage whatever creatives are watching, just realize the power that you have and the access, and don't let anything, I don't want to say hold you back, but don't let your own attitudes of what's holding you back. Just buck against that and realize that there's a lot that you're capable of doing.
Okay. So Tim and Michael, we'll have to get you guys to come back about your two individual movies, because those sound interesting, and I would probably watch both of them. So we'll have to plan a different episode for that one. So for people, like mostly our audience are consumers of the product, not the creators of, but if someone was interested, because everybody grew up, thought it'd be cool to make a movie, right? Like that's who didn't watch their favorite superhero and say, I could totally make that movie. So for someone that wants to get into the indie side, who doesn't want to have to move to Hollywood, what advice would you guys give for each of you to someone wanting to make an indie movie?
Well, I mean, the tools